All right. I'm just in the process of getting ready to go to work, and I thought I would talk about a gap that is happening right now in the whole realm of becoming an inbound closer. And I watched my previous video, and I don't think I explained it well enough. So if you want to know what I was talking about, check out the other video. But there's a gap, and it's very hard to articulate. And I'm really trying to figure this out. Um, what happens is when you're in your journey of becoming an inbound closer, there's different phases. So there's phase one, which is basically you're in a transitional mindset where you're like, you know what, I'm either not happy where I'm at with my job, and I just want to make a little bit of extra cash. So that's kind of phase one. Phase two is when you start doing something about it. You start looking around, whether that's on YouTube or talking to friends or whatever, and saying, yeah, I just need to make a little bit of extra cash on the side. I'm not quite happy with where I'm at in life, and things are tight financially, whatever it is. That's kind of your transition in phase two, because now you're starting to look around to do something about it. Then the third phase is actually getting to the point where you actually find someone or something that you're interested in. So, for example, for me was inbound closing. I never, if you go back 6 months ago, I never even realized that there was a industry, if you will, of salespeople that were taking inbound calls and then closing deals, whether that's digital marketing, fitness, all this kind of stuff. I didn't realize that. You know it's there, but you don't really put two and two together. So then you do something about that by start purchasing courses, start watching more videos on how to be better at sales and all that kind of stuff. Then the next phase is you're actually buying the programs, the courses, all this kind of stuff to actually increase your skill set, because eventually you want to be able to use these skills that you're getting. So if you're, for example, if you're a painter and you're learning how to paint houses, maybe you practice painting houses, and then eventually you're going to get out there, and whether that's open up your own business and have business cards and a website and all this kind of stuff, and you're going to actually start networking and saying, hey, I am in the process of I'm painting houses now, whatever it is. And there's a transition that you have to start getting experience. With sales, it's the same thing. Like, I've sold life insurance, I've worked for recruiting agencies, all this kind of stuff. With inbound closing, what the selling feature is, it's that you can sell high ticket offers. So anything that's, let's just say, over $2,000, maybe it's $3,000, $5,000, $10 plus. That is something that is very intriguing, because it's like, yeah, if I can sell a product or service for that much money, and say I make 10% commission or 20% commission, that's great. If I do that 2, 3, 4 times a day, all of a sudden you start running numbers and you're like, man, I can make some serious income. So then comes inbound closing with Peyton Welch, Taylor Welch and company, and they're basically, they say that within 21 days, this is what Peyton did. Took him 21 days to replace his income, whether that was selling clothing or whatever it was, and now he makes more in a month than he made in a year in 21 days. So then you have that mentality that you're like, oh yeah, okay, so say I'm not even half as good as what he is. If he's making $30,000 a month, maybe I'm a quarter of good. Maybe I can make $2,500 to $5,000, something reasonable. So you start thinking this stuff through. Who am I going to reach out to that has packages like this that are selling high ticket offers. Who do I reach out to? In the program, they share with you who to reach out to. But what I found was there was a gap between everything that you learn, for example, like in a college, and the actual practical application of selling the product or service. There is a gap, and that gap is you have to sell yourself. Now, a lot of programs don't really address that too much. They just say, just keep doing it, keep getting in front of the right people. If you get in front of enough people, eventually somebody's going to hire you. But the gap gets bigger as you start applying for jobs, because one, you need to have a video resume. Two, you need to have a digital resume. The third thing is you got to sell yourself. And the fourth thing is they're going to ask you, how much have you had any experience selling high ticket items? That is a gap, because if you're coming at it from the perspective of no experience, because that's what they say, if you have no experience, this is definitely for you. 100%, this is for you. If you have zero experience, we will train you, because we have so many people that are begging us to give them salespeople, and we'll train you the right way. So you're trained, but now the people that you talk with are saying that you need to have some experience selling $5,000, $10,000 plus, and they want to see, excuse me, they want to see what your revenue is, or what you've made in the past 3 months, 6 months. So if you say you've sold fitness programs and your revenue was, $100,000 a month or whatever, $1 million a year, and then they want to know how much commission you made, that kind of stuff. If you don't have that, you're pushed to the bottom of the pile, because they want people that are experienced to sell their products, and it only makes sense. Like, yeah, duh. Like if you got if you got 4 people you're interviewing, A, B, C, D, person A has 0 experience, person B has a little bit more, person C a little bit more, person D is actually doing it, and they just want to transition from a sales position to another sales position. Well, you're going to hire person D. Pretty obvious. So that's the gap that they don't tell you about at the beginning. And then the wedge is getting larger and larger, because the more money you spend, the more you got to pay that money back, and the more pressure adds up, that gap gets greater and greater and greater. And it's not saying that it's impossible, but you have to realize, if you're coming at it from, you're a plumber, or maybe you're a truck driver, or whatever it is, you pay the $97. That doesn't guarantee you anything at all. It's like a college course. But what's different is they're saying that if you come under their training, they have boatloads of people that are hiring, boatloads that they can't even keep up. It's a $1 billion industry, and if you take the course, you're going to get tapped into that $1 billion industry. But what they're not addressing is the concept that you have to sell yourself, which you can do that on your own. You can start selling yourself, and you got to build a resume, a portfolio, experience, all this kind of stuff. And it's stuff that's not addressed, and I hope to address that in this video and other videos and all this kind of stuff, so that you realize what you're getting into with no experience. If you have experience, that helps you. If you don't, like I mentioned before, maybe check out Sales Sniper's course, because you can pay $50 a week, and if you change your mind, you can cancel anytime. Or if you like it, you keep going, and it's way cheaper than spending $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 or whatever. Here, at least, you're gaining some experience at your own pace, which I think makes sense. So I hope I didn't ramble too much. I hope this makes sense. If it does, subscribe to this channel, comment in this video, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.